Yeah, we did that last week, and this week we're looking at making water. So that is going to be the aim for today. So the differences we have with a water texture then are as follows. So we need to consider a few things. First off, we want it needs to look animated, right? Animated is and that doesn't mean complicated animation. That just means there needs to be some movement. Let's just say movement of it. Of the texture to begin with, because we'll also look at the waves sort of thing. What I'd also like to have is some, when it hits a wall or hits an edge, it changes color, like the kind of the foamy whiteness that you get, like that. We have other things as well. We have like translucency. Well, it's also refraction, I guess, we care about as well. Yeah, whether it's transparent or not, I guess. And is there anything? Oh yeah, then we'd want like some surface, like movement, in order to simulate the waves itself. So they're the kind of new challenges that we have when we look at like doing water. I've got a massive bowl of pasta in front of me as well, so I'm going to start eating through some of that. What do you want? A link to Apollyon. And Kez, I will redeem that in just a moment. And Lock and Wow, sorry for the very slow answer to your question. I don't share who I work for via stream. I try and keep my stream and work separate. Like people in work know that I stream, but I'd rather it not be the other way around. There's plenty of people out there who, and I don't want to have to worry about what I do on stream could impact my work. So if I'm a dick on stream, or if I struggle with something basic, that people want to go and like try and make my life difficult professionally as a result of it, So and it's just for a bit of privacy. So sorry for not sharing that, but nice to meet another developer here in the UK. Let me try and find it for you now. Yeah, I work. My studio works with some larger, well-known studios, so I get to work on a very well-known game, which is lovely. But that's another reason why I try and keep it separate. Let me see if I can find that reference. I don't know if we're gonna be able to. I don't think I've got it on me, actually. I'll look in my watch history another time for you if you want. Good morning, Treehead. Nice to see you. We did a bit of a continuation of our Skyrim playthrough this morning, but now we're onto the game dev side of things. Nice to see you back. So to catch you up on the Skyrim, we went to Ulfric. He wanted us to go back to Whiterun in order to try and convince the Jarl to be on his side. Unfortunately, he didn't want to be. So then we went to see Ulfric, and then they're like, right, let's start some wars then. Then we went in, and then I got killed a bunch of times trying to get in past a bunch of archers. But we went in, he gave up, and I think it was the Greymanes, was it? I'd never talked to them, so it was a bit of a weird surprise in the story that I didn't quite get, whether it was like this Greymane will now be the Jarl or the leader, because I'd never talked to him in my character. But still, yeah, it was cool. It was interesting. Yeah, dev is neato. Without the dev, there's no games. Brainoid, is this your new game video I'm going to be looking at? So I'll be talking with Brainoid on stream today once I finish my food, so he doesn't have to listen to me eating my pasta. I'll have a look. This is what Brainoid's looking at the moment. Little character with a giant knife. Oh, well, the swipe animation is cool. Okay, so you swipe 10 of them. Okay, you go to the next level. Okay, now there's more. There's more. I was wondering with the hit through walls because I guess there wasn't too many walls, but now there is like brick, right? It's a long video. Oh, how long is it? Oh yeah, it is 5 minutes. I will skip forward a little bit in a moment. I've got around a third of my pasta left. Oh wow, water. I see Brain's already done a bit of water shaders. Oh wow, you got that is nice. That effect that you've got running through it as well. So that was one of the ones I was going to be looking at doing today. Which is that kind of Wind Waker style water video, a link I sent you before, Brain. Martinus, good day to you. Thanks everyone who came on the raid, by the way. I appreciate you people coming over. Crass's a lovely dude. Anyone in my stream who does know Crass, you probably do know Crass already, which is why I didn't do an introduction to begin with. But Crass is a dedicated game dev who's really working on getting new games out like every month or two now at the moment, which is really cool. It's really nice to see him working on new projects and having that excitement and enthusiasm for game dev. So the thing with waves I've seen people do is they've done a thing where they actually change the position of it, or I've seen people do it with normal maps as well. As a way to get like ripples and stuff. Okay, you'd be pleased to hear my food is done. Celebratory glass of cold iced lemon water. We are ready to get going. And so is this the one you were saying which is similar to an old game, Brain? I like how the dark blue enemies kind of do like a lunge attack. Maybe they all do, but I didn't notice it. The green ones seem a bit more harmless. Oh, it is only blue ones. Okay, good. Okay. Thank you for the new follows as well. Very nice. My cooking was a lot tidier than this, Fletch. Silly man. Okay, let's try and get started then. Brian, do you want me to give you a call? Now let's get towards the end. Oh gosh, there's a massive one now. Oh, is it are you hitting it and it splits into smaller ones? The classic slime mechanics. Everyone knows to expect it, but it never gets massively old. Straight in sometimes. Oh, look at that. What a boy. What a boy. He is going to need a bigger knife. He's already got a rather large knife. Arcane Creator, how dare you kick in the door? Please, would you fix the door? And then I will greet you. Things are good today. I played games for it this morning. I went out to get some food. No, not some food, some supplies, and then I've made some dinner. And here I am now. We're going to do a bit of shader work to finish off our month of materials and shaders in Unreal. Hello, Brainoid.
Hello, you.
Hello. Can people let me know, is Brainoid a good volume? In chat, if he's louder, or is he a decent volume so you can hear him?
I am a good volume.
You sound like a different microphone or a better microphone.
Really? Maybe.
I might.
Let me check.
I'm using different headphones as well, but it sounds nice. Nothing wrong with it.
Oh, okay. No, it's the same microphone.
Yeah, it could just be my headphones. No, oh, hang on. No, try again.
Say?
Yeah, okay. My headphones were like half plugged in. So I think
And
it was
I,
going out.
I
It
okay.
sounded very surround sound, and it was, yes, because it was coming out of my monitor and my headphones at the same time. Ah, there we go. It wouldn't have changed the sound for you people on stream, but for me, it was definitely It was like Brain was here talking in my ears. Ah, we can dream. Right, Brain, how are you today?
I'm fine. I'm fine. I don't think I'm going to work on a water shader. Maybe I can help you.
Okay, that's okay.
But in the meantime, I figured like I should work on something else so we learn more.
Okay, that's no problem.
I'm
And I'm
planning
happy
to
for you to
watch
share at any
watch.
time, dude.
Yeah, I'm planning to watch a render through walls or render behind walls, kind of
Oh,
see through
yes.
walls
Yeah,
kind of thing.
that could be very handy indeed, man. I remember
Yes.
we looked at a little bit at an example of that before. With the sphere.
Well, yeah, that's not what I'm thinking. That's like masking the wall, but instead of that, like getting the depth texture of the scene and then actually re-rendering what's behind, re-rendering it with a different color. I mean,
Right.
objects behind the wall or with a different material.
Right, okay. Well, we will see how you come along with that.
We'll
We will
see.
see.
Yeah.
So for me, we're going to be looking at trying to make water stuff. I'm just going to make a new folder just to keep things budget for today. So, but generally, we don't need that much in terms of like resources for it. We're gonna make we need a texture to work with typically, and then we will make our material to go with it. I've seen some people. It depends how we want to do this. You can do one without a texture, and I think we might have a look at doing something like that first. I found a video for a while ago. I kind of skimmed through it. I haven't gone through it in massive detail, but if anyone else wants to have a look at what I'm kind of using as a form of reference, you're welcome to have a look there. It's quite a short video, which is why I just chucked it on while I was cooking earlier.
Mr. Tri-Pie and
Oh, the volume's on loud. Yeah, it ended up being I got distracted while cooking, so I didn't watch it super carefully, and it doesn't look amazing, but it's a good starting point. And my aim today is to try a couple of different water things to see if we can get those. So realistically, what we would do is just have a place where we can have water to begin with. So we might end up using like the landscape tool, for example, and then pushing down a hole, and then we can just add a plane onto it, which is our water. I don't know whether this stuff we can. I forgot even how to use the landscape tool in the sense of if we use the brush geometry. No.
You're looking for the landscape?
Yeah, it's changed, hasn't it?
So there's the third button on the top panel, mode, like save button next to save button.
Oh right, yeah, there. I got you. Yeah, landscape. Crikey, yeah. Okay, it goes into this mode then. So we have this room already. If we just moved over here, and then we would just again, this has changed a little bit since last bit. So if we went into is it mesh paint? Remember? Yeah, these all look very different to what I remember doing before. Oh, you got to press fill, is it? You got to say how big you want it and then fill it. Okay, so we want it a lot smaller than this. So let's just go for like 10 by 10.
Definitely.
Yeah. Fine, let's move it across. Let's have it over here. We probably have a bit too much detail in there. So make it a little bit smaller maybe. Oh no, that's not. Actually no, maybe we can. We can do it smaller and then just scale it. Go. Just move this a little closer to this thing. Let's create. I'm guessing we haven't given it a material, so I don't know what it's gonna. Yeah, it's just gonna have a bit of nothingness for now. I mean, we should be able to give it a material, shouldn't we? sure how we would do that now. We have to go out of this mode, select that. Use the material in here. I mean, I've made some materials now, haven't I? Go back to my... we could use like the concrete, for example, maybe. No? There we go, yeah. Okay, it's repeating quite a lot. You can always... Oh, yeah. Terrible. Let's check this. Pick a brick in. This is a lot bigger than I anticipated over here, but that's okay. For now, go on to this material as well and just set the scale of this to be a lot bigger. Well, I tell you what, let's learn from what we've done in previous things, right? Where we would just make a new one of these. So we'll make a new... We'll just make a new concrete one. And we'll just call it... Just call it large. I'm gonna make the scaling on it. Oh, it's the scaling here. Oh, yeah, that's how often it repeats, right? So we kind of want it less, but not to the point where it starts looking blurry. See how that looks for now, and then we'll chuck that texture on there just so we've got. Still looks. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Okay, we'll go to the landscape tool. We just want to make some areas. Tool strength, the fall off size, very small. So that's how you go up. Is it shift to go down? Okay, so here you go. We have a pond there, and we have what's the strength of it? Fire again. Eek. These only need to be small, like just basically two little areas that we can put a plane of water across. Well, okay, perfect. Just like the real world. Okay, so the idea here is that we can then go to our place actors and can't we just get like a plane in here? So you can add a plane and then we can scale this out. Oh, I also need to use that Welsh command still. I apologize. Are you still in chat? Are you, Kez? I forgot about. I want it just to be a square at the moment. So I pressed lock, but never mind. Okay, yeah, that'll do for one. And we'll do this for over here as well. The right size. Oh. Oh, we've got our puddles of water. And we now are going to use apply materials to these in order to try and make them look a little bit like water. That's the plan. Okay, so first off, concrete large in here.
No, I really want to watch you do it without looking at the video.
Yeah, I don't really know how to do it, if I'm honest with you.
Just try with what you know already.
Okay.
No, you don't.
Oh, we'll go to material. We're going to say this is going to be an M water type 1.
I guess I can at least get the foam done. I know how to do that.
Yeah, I know
believe.
it's like it's called a collision bounds something. I'll have a look when I'm in the graph. So I know one
what
thing.
I
Right,
was
let's get a color.
what I
Sorry,
was
go on.
thinking that I could use depth fade for that.
Oh, that might be what it was actually. The depth fade. Let's get a nice watercolor, shall we? This color, the color selector. All right, there we go. Watercolor. All right, are we ready? We've done it. We've finished. Water done. We're not going to make it translucent for now, I guess. We could do with making things like the shininess of, or the roughness of it. Could that in a 0. There you go, super shiny. So if you put 1. Oh yeah, it's definitely not metallic. Okay, sweet. So if we start here, then save, and then we pop across. This is water. Here we go. Perfect. Okay, so if we wanted to get some, like around the edges, we want it to go white. And let's try and think about how we'd want to do that. We're basically still changing the base color, right? But we're going to have to... I can't remember if it's called... I don't think it is object bounds.
I'm sure you're looking for depth fade.
Yeah, probably.
Because, so, remember what depth fade was doing when we used it in particle systems?
Thank you for the follow, by the way. I'm trying to remember.
So it was fading out the edges when they intersect with the with other
other
objects.
Things.
Yeah. So
it's when it
that
intersects with stuff, right?
Yeah, that's what we're looking for, aren't we?
Yes. Yeah.
So we're gonna use the depth fade as the alpha of the lerp node, maybe.
And what's the output that this gives you then? It gives you like a 0 to 1 opacity thing, is it?
I guess, yeah, that's how because we bind it to the opacity for the particle systems.
Right.
Okay, so if we I don't have your screen, sorry.
Oh, right, that's it. I'll share my screen.
Oh, okay.
Which one? What is that? Oh, it is that one. It's just because it's in here interpolating the.
Okay, so let's have another.
We want to go between blue and white, really, don't we? So if we get a second color and we say when it's 0, we want it to be blue. When it's 1, we want it to be white, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just set this up to be white. There you go. That's fine. So this will be there. This will be there, and this will output what we actually want it to be.
Yeah.
So this then is saying, give us a value that comes out based on how close it is to other things. And this fade distance here, I guess we could expose this out and see how that affects things. The
What's that error?
Sorry?
The error.
Only transparent or post-processed material can have... oh, right.
Okay. Yeah.
It'd have to be transparent. But I guess you don't always want your water to be transparent. But it's one way to do it, at least, I guess, right? You need it because we're blending between things, right? So.
Opaque. Right. So it simply doesn't allow you to use the depth fade node if you don't have the translucent. I was watching this Russian YouTube tutorial. He was saying translucent.
Lucant.
Sorry, transcoolant. Even
Oh,
better.
that is even better. So that was 100 by default. I think the opacity was 1 by default. How much we see this extra color coming in, I'm guessing that means. So what I'll try and do now, we'll make
Let's see.
an instance out of this, and then we can tweak around with stuff. Oh, I saved and it still has a save that. Oh, it's going the wrong way around. It's the first thing I can see.
Well,
okay.
it works.
To an extent, yeah. Let me just close down materials I don't need. Okay. So if we go here and we want to make a new material instance from this, that. For now, we're just going to. Right, so we should now have access to this. I'm going to do that because a few times. Where we have these two things that we can change. So the fade distance is impacting. Oh, we can see it impacting this, but we see it. Oh, that is. I remember now. Fade distance. I did have a look at that. It's basically the. Hold on, I got a giant number.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. I remember we have this whole square at the moment. It's based on how close it is to things as well, isn't it? Actually, no, yeah. So it shouldn't matter how big it is. It should be the one color unless you're getting close to the edge. Yeah, I'm just struggling to see the. Part of me is annoyed by I don't want to see that grid as well. Why I don't know why we're seeing the landscape grid. But it doesn't matter.
It doesn't change anything, does it?
I don't know. It's hard to see. Like something's changing, but not. Say that it is. Oh, well, it's
not. Fix the ABs.
I didn't swap them while I'm here.
Actually, we can try to lerp it again, maybe, to have another layer of depth fade closer to the
center.
Yeah, no.
Oh, right next to the edge, you mean?
Yeah, right next to the edge.
Let me understand what this is doing first.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, like Okay. First off, the opacity. Maybe let's work with that. Oh, this hasn't got the new material on it. That's why. There we go.
It didn't have the
instance.
Okay.
No. Okay, let's go back to defaults for these. Okay, so the fade distance should be, yeah, there we go. That's what we're expecting. So right around the edges.
It looks good enough for a toon shader. I mean.
Yeah. And the opacity is. Ooh. Okay, that's the opacity of the color that gets applied based on the distance.
Yes.
So you'd imagine it's more the color gets applied when it's close to the edge, but it seems the other way around, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't really matter, just as long as you're aware of that. So that'll keep. We kind of want that to stay as 1. But this one.
Yeah, I'm curious if we can use a texture instead of a white color.
What, like a wobbly kind of texture?
Yeah, so we can maybe noise pan it and have a wobble around the edges. Or
let me think about it a sec. Sorry, what you say. So I'm imagining if you have a texture, isn't it going to just be a tiling texture?
Yeah, yes. But then what if we... Actually, you're gonna do it to the whole water, right?
Yeah.
Distort the UV.
Yes. Yeah, I've seen something about the distorting of the UV before, which looked interesting, where you kind of bits of it like move together, right? So instead of like breaking up the texture, you're just kind of like stretching it around and squishing it together. So all the bits still kind of connect together. Maybe we're not the same thing.
No. Yeah, you are correct. Correct.
Okay.
Congrats.
Well,
First step.
no, but that's the thing is I feel very limited on the next. Let me try and think. Let me get my notepad thing up of what else we want. So we kind of got that element at least thought about. The movement of texture on the surface. This is like. So what you were saying, like if we have a texture on the edge. Yeah, I don't think I understand exactly what you mean or how to achieve it.
Let me see.
I can imagine if we had like some wobbly line instead of the fade, but I wouldn't know how to apply that.
I don't know either. I was just curious what would happen if we use a texture instead of the color.
Okay, so let's have a look. Yeah, I am learning Tenchi, so I'm very happy to have anyone in chat give input. It's not backseat. I don't know what I'm doing at all. That's the point of these Sunday streams, is to learn stuff that we don't know what we're doing. So if we change this to a texture instead. Sample. That out. Voice doesn't
You
want
have a noise.
probably that one.
Yeah, that will work probably.
But then black impact. Yeah, you're getting literally like the white and the black. So would you need to mask it out then? Yes.
Or
We could do
could add it.
I said yes to backseating because we're learning Tenchi. It's fine, but like it depends. If you say to try something and I'm in the middle of a thought process, I might not try it immediately, but I'm totally open for people giving suggestions. So we'll add this to the.
No, I don't know how.
Or
Actually.
flip it and subtract it away, but it's still going to be a black and white value there. We basically need it to act like a mask. But then we don't want this whole thing to be a mask. It's like we'd want this on top of it as a separate texture. Then no, but that's not. Yeah. The multi. No, wouldn't you still get 0 though? If we got a multiply here, we multiplied these together. Then in my eyes, you're still going to get the same.
Just drop down the multiply.
Sort of thing happening. I'm assuming you want the texture pattern overlaid with the white. So what Brain was suggesting was just that we had some variance on the white that is going around the edge. So kind of like what you got now, but instead of the black bits being black, that they are more blue, I guess.
Kinda. We can use a transparent texture instead.
Let me get back to like default values there. So if you use a transparent, yeah, I guess you could. But right, I'm gonna try and think about
Should I send you a transparent noise in the meantime?
You can do. I feel like I'm just gonna maybe work off what I started to see, because like I don't know enough to just build up this shit on my own, and now it's stressing me because I don't really know like where to go from. Yeah,
I'm having fun doing this with you.
I'm glad you're having fun. Okay, it says something about changing the translucency. This down in if you're having it transparent, you can do volumetric translucency volume.
Yeah.
Like glass and water. That's something I wasn't too familiar with before. So I might just if we just make another texture. So we have our original texture. We'll keep that as our base one, right? We can build up in different ones. Let's just get rid of these things. This is our first basic one. This is what we could have just guessed to do. So then we're gonna go and make a new one. Come on, Unreal, don't crash. A few water shaders from the marketplace you can say. Oh, actually, I'm trying to think. I might also have some the marketplace as well. Well, I've got a couple of examples, Tenchi. Hold fire for now, because I got a few examples that I wanted to try and recreate to like learn a little bit. And I have seen a thing ages ago about it, and I know there's a few things you can do with basically like panning textures across it. You can give them different offsets at different speeds, so they kind of go across each other. I know that you can do some form of like distortion as well, so that things like move around together. Oh, like I'm not describing it very well. Sorry.
I created a texture on my own.
Okay, I can see. Nice one.
I don't know how it will show, but let's see.
Thank you, dude. Okay, so let's just save this and let me just start a new one. I want to just save. Let's make a new material, and this will be water type 2. Let's work on that. Let's just give it a start, similar start, and then we can modify what we want to. So we got these colors at least. And let me have a look at the reference thing I was looking at earlier today. See how they went ahead and did kind of similar thing that we're doing. I think they also did a depth fade. Okay, but then to get a hard edge, I think they... Yeah, they added a parameter then. Okay, yeah, I can see the approach they're doing here. So in the same way that we had... Let's get these put back in. So I think it was metallic and roughness we had these in, right? Oh, and we also need to change a bunch of these now to translucent and what I changed before, which was this. But yeah, on this lerp thing, they end up going ahead and using an if operator on it in order to try and decide whether or not we want to show the blue or the white based on what value we are at. Instead of fading in and out nicely, that it kind of just cuts off. And I guess that's more cartoony style, right? So we can have a look at implementing that quickly. So we'd have this. Yeah, they don't even use the lerp in this other example. It's, let's get an if statement coming in here, and they basically get the output of this. Oh, they actually do one minus node here. Come on. Okay, so this goes into that. They basically say if the value of this is, and then we promote this to a parameter which is going to be like a amount of phone or phone thickness, I guess. Like that. So, like 10 to begin with. No, not 10. This is a decimal value we're getting out of this, right? Between 0 and 1. So let's just go for like, go halfway. Okay, and we basically would then say, hey, we're going to take this blue material texture if the value is less than it. And if it's more than it, then we want to take this white. Kind of thing we're doing. It's equal, then what should we do? We want it to be nothing. Then that can go into the base color. There's a slightly different way of doing it here. Without a lerp. What we're going to get here is just having a hard cutoff. So I'm imagining this depth fade gives you like a map of 0 to 1 values about how far away stuff is. I don't know whether based on that fade distance. So it's a 0 to 1 value, but which is represents this distance. So if it's 100, I guess the 1 would count as 100. 0.5 would be 50, etc. And it's going to give you a 0 to 1 value on any pixel on the surface based on how far away it is from a surface. That means if we're right next to it, I think it's a 1. Then we're flipping it. It might be the other way around. It might be 0 if you're right next to it. Yeah, I think it is. So yeah, it's 0 if it's basically how far away you are. That would make more sense, right? So 1 is maximum distance away from it. 0 is no distance away from it. Okay, yeah, let's put some notes in here so I can kind of think about this in the future again. So we want to say that this gives you based on how far away from, I don't know what to call it, another edge, another surface, another material. 0 means next to it. 1 equals means a distance away from it. I'm gonna guess that's what it means. Okay, and then we flip it just to make the number nicer, I think. So because we're saying that the foam thickness, it'd be like thinness if we didn't flip it, I guess. So this bit here. Just move the flipping box. Stupid. This bit here then is invert it so we have foam thickness rather than thinness. Set a threshold. It will be either blue or white. Which means okay. Let's save that. Got our foam distance out. Let's saving. So let's make an instance from this as well. This up. Let's check it on this body of water here. Okay, cool. So if we play with our opacity, oh, hold on. These two values. Is this because they're, how are they parameters? Oh, it's because I promoted those. Why don't fish play basketball, says Mr. Balrog. They have issues with the net. Balrog, honest, have you run out of jokes in your dad joke book?
Dead jokes.
Normally they're very, I mean they're very long-winded, but they end up making a very good pun. Same database. You make me sad on the inside. Okay, foam thickness here. Here we go. Oh, it goes the other way around. So why are we flipping it? So I think that must be, let's understand this properly then. Don't do that then. And we just pass that straight in. Save that, go back. What are you up to today, Balrog? Okay. Oh, no. That's
What
kind of what we
happened?
want. Yeah, we just need to flip the colors around now. Makes more sense to do it that way. White if it's more than, we'll have the blue color. It's equal. Actually, it'd be more like two of the. Okay. So if this works how we think it does, we're going to get white if it's more than this value. No, less than this value. Oh, crikey. I think I've literally just inverted it to do the same thing if I got rid of the -1 thing. Yeah, the higher the number. Oh, no, that is what I thought. Okay. And we should really cap this property that we exposed here. The slider max of 1. Then we should give us a nicer way to manipulate this. Remember when air was free at the gas station? It's now 150. You know why? Inflation. Use dollars, Balrog. Where are you based? Balrog, you're not in America. And I'm not in America. You copy and paste that. I guess you had to say gas station as well. Says a lot. Yes. It was better than the first. A battle normally comes with very cringy, but very decent. Oh, the fade distance is going to impact things as well. So instead of fade distance, this would be like maximum foam, I guess this would be, right? Foam distance. Yeah. We go to 1. Okay. Fine. Okay, so we'll have a look at how things move next, because the same sort of concept, we can't go in here. Let me just change the name. And this might be wrong as well. Hang on, let's think how this is happening now. We're getting a value out of here, the distance. To my understanding, the distance was how close it is. So if it was 0, 0 means it's right next to it. So if we're right next to it, 0. If it's less than 0.5, it should be white. Yes, that's correct. If we have to say it. Okay. That's fine. We're going to change this output now. This opacity, I don't really think it needs to be just keep that as 1 now. And this is going to change to like max foam thickness instead. Okay. Oh, wow, we got some. Thank you, bigfollows.com. Do you want to be famous? Sounds pretty legit. Everybody, quickly. Let's go follow VZ Lenovo 01227. They seem like they're a legitimate person who just want to help us grow and be famous. Wonder how many people they've helped in the 9 hours their account has been in existence for. But we don't want to ban them because they'll never say anything ever again. They're about, so we'll just time out to get rid of the message. There we go. Hello, they won't play too fun. Okay, I'm gonna just check a reference and we'll see what we're doing next with this. I think this is where we're probably gonna get some noise. There's background noise in it. Again, sorry for the silence. I will be trying to make some sense out. I mean, this example is but we're still going to finish it. Okay, so he's gone ahead and added some noise in a bit of a peculiar way. But we're going to go ahead with it and try and understand what's going on then, because that's how we learn, really. Even if it's not a great way to do it, if you understand the tools he's using to achieve it, then that's worth something. Hi Pete, by the way. I hope you're doing good. Hey nerd, Spacey. And Balrog, I don't ban them because I don't like having a big ban list. I'd rather have a ban list of people who are actually banned. It's almost a bit of nostalgia then, you know, when you look through that ban list. I don't really have to ban many people at all. Okay. So they went for an absolute world coordinate. Maybe it wasn't absolute. Is it absolute? What was an absolute world position? Okay, it's just world position and it calls it absolute world position. That's fine. Then we use a mask on here, right? And to my understanding, that just takes out the 2. If this gives a 3, that'll give 2. That'll give us, like, gets the first 2 channels out of it, to my understanding. Brain, is that correct with the mask node? Does that just take out the 2 out of, like, a vector, the first 2?
Sorry, I actually lowered your volume to hear the video I'm watching. Can you repeat again?
Okay. Is the mask node, does that just give you the first 2 elements of a vector 3?
Whatever you choose in the details, yeah.
Yeah. So it's just a way for you to get out, data, and it'll turn it into a V whatever is you've got ticked.
Yes.
Okay,
so you have a vector 2 now.
Sneeze incoming. Okay.
Blush.
For sneezing. For the football. Who's playing in the football today? Hardly. Hello there, Loku Lokasu. How do you do today? On a scale of 1 to 7, please. Okay, sorry, we just started to put in this new bit of logic, which we don't quite get, but we're going to see how it works out. So the multiplier thing we're fine with. We just promote this to a thing called scale, they called it. But now. And then we have a panner. The idea here is to have that white that is on the edges move like closer and further away, basically. That's what we're trying to do. And so it's not all consistent as well. We'll see. They have this, and then we have a noise sample. So first of all, we have a texture sample, and then we grab some noise from here. Eek. They have quite a light noise. Do not have any. What does that look like? Let's just stick with that, I guess. Okay, so we have this. And they then choose to connect it up with the previous part, the distance we had. Okay, so this sample here, they just take out the red from it, which is fine, I guess. And this is going to go into a multiply, which comes out of the value of this depth fade, I guess. Let's just get multiply down. Great, are you able to change sensitivity? Like the pro stuff has just started. It's coming through quite a bit. Oh yeah, we just want a 1 value, that's why, otherwise we're... There you go, okay. Because this is a V1. Yeah. Makes sense at this point. You ran 14 miles, that's larger than normal. Why are you trying to show off, huh, Spacey? Or cultured, maybe. Wow. No, I'm proud that you went 14. It's just it's getting great bigger. Instead, it was like I ran 10 miles faster than ever before. Now you just added an extra 4 miles on. Don't give her monkeys, do you? All right, let's see if this actually does anything. I don't know what the scale was set as by default. I set it as like 0.01 or something. We'll just see how this goes. At the moment, I don't really get it, but we'll try and make sense of it. Let's just see if it does something first. Oh dear, what is happening on this texture now? Okay. Oh, the panner. Have we not set anything on the panner as well? Yeah, we haven't set any speeds here. I don't know what they say when they panner in terms of speeds to go. Set one on each way. Okay, so let's just set it as a small value for now. This should move now. This is finished. You ran 0 miles this week. Good job, Loku. My new distance record. So now everything longer will always be a new record again until you're sick of it. I mean, that's one way to look at it. Do you think there's a physical limit, Spacey? And what was your previous furthest? Oh, Laku, I can see how this is going. Okay, we're starting to see some movement here. Let's see what this gives us. Okay, we didn't mean to have this work like this, but we'll have a look what we can do with it. Your brain's not working. All right, just flip some of the buttons. It'll all work soon. Scale. Okay. We have a low scale. That's the size of the noise, right? Oh, not the font thickness. Sorry, this thing here. But as you can see, the noise starts to take over the middle. And I mean, it looks interesting, but that's not really the effect we were going for. I mean, we can try and understand why this is happening. The edges are cool. But let's try and understand it. I don't know if we're going to be using this. Why does it look so rectangular? What do you mean by rectangular there? Sorry. Let's go and have a look. So what did this crap just add then? Let's try and make sense of it. So the world position, it gets where it is in the world. I think is the reason for this so that if we had two next to each other, they would be using they would look like they match up. Oh, regular, did you say? Oh, sorry. How did I read rectangular? Found a bunch of extra letters there. Let's see if we duplicate. Oh no. Back we go. In there. Okay, Control W, pull one up. Yeah, I think that's why we got the world position. So you could technically have like different shape bits. So if we just do this for now, let's just say we got a path going up here. It's a bit higher up this though, so we need to put it on the same level like that. But then if we go to our landscaping tool and we'll make a narrow little. We take this down. Here we go, and we get the same kind of flow running through it with two different shapes. So we're using world position to give us a value, a way to read off of that noise graph. I'm guessing. I mean, this is low enough. It's just because our texture isn't to pull that across like that. Perfect, seamless. Ship it. Ooh. And how big is this texture? Oh, I was wondering why that was still working. Like, hang on. That's kind of how we wanted it to be up to here. And then we can stretch this out over here. Move it to there. Okay, so this is our way to, through using the world position, it allows us to have multiple pieces joined together at least. Don't look at the phallic shape here. Grow up. But we don't want these. One is going far too fast as well, so that's something to be aware of. So first off, where's our... Let's get rid of this old material. We keep going into the wrong one. Let's go. Example. We should really expose those output. Yes. Good. Glad to hear. Anyone who's just joined as well, I don't know this stuff, as you can see. I'm just experimenting. We're trying to learn this month and trying to learn about materials and shaders. It's always a bit stressful looking at new stuff that you've not done before, but it's fine. I already feel like I've learned a lot within the last. Hold on. Now it looks good. Kind of. You get the neon bit of scummy foam just floating across.
Yeah, it looks nice.
Yeah, I now need to try and understand what's happening before. This is the scale of the noise that we're using. We want it close to very low by the looks of it.
So I wasn't watching. Which noise texture did you use?
I just use a Perlin one.
Okay. Yeah,
I think that's
like
normally quite granular, isn't it? So there's quite a lot of. That is. Hey, Mars, how you doing as well? Nice to see you. So yeah, I'm very open to any backseating with this stuff because I have like no idea when it comes to materials and that. I'm a developer. I work in the engine. I do code, but we don't tend to do a lot of stuff. Or there's designers and level designers and artists and that tend to work with material graphs and a lot of these editor tools that which is why me and Brainode are doing these sessions to kind of build up a bit more of a broader skill set so that I can contribute more during game jams and stuff.
So you chucked in that texture sample into.
So this is what they did in the example I was looking at before, right? So I'm going to just try and read through it and get it initially. So we get the absolute world position, and my first understanding of that is that means that if you have two different things with the same material, they will use the same pattern, so it'll all link together. So I understand that. With this gets out the. I'm going to write comments as I go along because I won't remember this in a few weeks. So can put two things with two surfaces with the same material next to each other, and they will merge seamlessly. Let's just say that for now.
So,
and then our masking. We've used the mask tool before, but just to remind anyone who's new to it, this allows you to extract which of the 4 V's you want. V's being vectors in this. Check that
I
down
liked
here.
how you spelled seamless.
Uh-oh. Is that not right? No.
No.
Shh. Everything's fine. Hey, Benjo. I was wondering what phallic shape. Just saw it. Yeah, so Unity never used to have a shader graph, did it? Unreal's always been one of the engine that had that nice visual way, but I think Unity in the last 2 years of it's gone into the main line of it, isn't it? Okay, then what have we got here? So we have a scalar. This is our way of... okay, so this scale actually multiplies the world coordinate that we're getting in. Okay, so...
yeah, because it could be a huge number, right? Your world position.
Yes.
So it's getting it to a smaller one, shrinking it.
Right, okay. Is this where we could have used that object relative kind of size thing? I don't know, because we're not doing object. It just seems a bit random, because what if this is in a different part of the world? It's going to look completely different.
Yeah, that's what I...
Yeah. Well, as we said, this is just an example we've seen from a different...
But that's what I see, that everyone does that.
Oh, right.
I don't know, maybe it works.
Okay, they multiply these. This is just going to give a coordinate, right? So if we were in position like 20 across and 100 up, we'd get 20 and 100 from this, right?
Yes.
Okay. So we then multiply that by whatever scalar we want. So that would change to 0.2 and 1. We times it by that. And then we have a panner. And our panner is going to be shifting everything that has been... Everything... Oh. I have to think about... Is the panner basing...
We're giving a coordinate to the panner.
Yeah, we're giving a coordinate to the panner, which is going to be looking at what to look at on here. But then it's going to be panning what we look at, or is it panning the texture, or does it not particularly matter?
Can you drop down the panner right now? Okay.
Wonder if that changes the color.
So I was curious what the nodes before it was giving to the panner.
Okay.
But because of the world position, it's useless, of course. The preview node is useless because we don't know the world position right now.
Right, okay. So the way to get this in, what the coordinate we're passing into this is where it should be. Like the typical thing for this would be where it's meant to be rendered, right? Which would be the forward thing. Would it be that? Is that the default for a panner? So instead of saying look on the UV map of what you're looking at to work out what to draw, we're saying okay, this is all to do with that whole thing of this then, right? Yes. So they can seamlessly go together. Right. Whatever, I'm done with that. Okay, so the panner bit is associated with this now. So if we give it this UV, does a panner effectively just add, like offset this based on our time and our speed sort of thing?
Yes.
So, okay. So this will constantly move this X and Y, like left and up a little bit. And then we're just getting a 0 to 1 value out of this, which is just going to be randomly black and white based on the noise, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we're multiplying that by the depth fade. Okay, I think I get that. So it's, yeah, okay. The depth fade is 0 to 1, 1 being the maximum distance away based on the whatever parameter you pass into fade distance.
This is what we missed, right? We need to multiply. So earlier I thought, what if we used the texture sample instead of a color? Then we were confused, but what we needed to do is to multiply with the depth weight's output.
Yeah, rather than the output of the bit of the lerp.
Yeah, because depth weights out when it's 0, it just gets rid of the black parts. Logically, I mean, we do it later, but
yeah, essentially, I see this as if it's 0, it will just make more of this 0. So the bits which are meant to be further away, you're going to get some of them randomly no longer being 1, and they will be a random amount off. And this will make sure that it's like smooth edges, not like complete grain.
Yeah.
Okay. Kind of makes sense. So why is this happening sometimes then? Let's go back in. And
what happened?
Like that. Let me max. That value is huge. I think that's why. Okay, yeah, never mind. I think I know why. So how many units is this?
Units is
Stupid units is. If we go from the top. Oh, where's it gone? There, over here. So this thing of water is 200 across. Each one of these squares is 100, right? Okay. So if on this we want the maximum amount, if each one of these is around 100, so let's just set that to 25, for example, right? So max foam 25. And then our foam thickness is 1. Oh, 0.99. It doesn't work as 1 because of the maths. Oh, crikey. Didn't work as that either. So this sort of effect is what I meant, but I think it's just because the foam is technically all the way in at the moment still. Because this would only happen if the foam distance... No.
Do we have a parameter for depth fade's opacity?
Not the opacity, the depth fade we do, which I ended up calling max foam thickness.
Okay.
Because it was kind of, that's the maximum I thought that is meant to... See, I guess it does make sense. No, I'm a bit confused by it actually. Foam thickness. Let's see that number and realize, like, why is it getting rid of the middle bit? Is what I'm trying to work out. Foam thickness here is the value it needs to be more than in order to show the blue.
Okay.
Is it the... more than to show the whites, or actually if A is more than this, then we show blue. Oh.
Spaghetti.
Whereas if A is less than B, then we show white. No, that is right, because we want the less distance to be closer to the wall, so that would be the white stuff. Okay.
Okay, this makes sense.
I'm trying to work out why we're getting. Right, this bit I get, right? This is saying this foam thickness, it needs to be over 0.5. And basically, this is just the noise sample now, I guess, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's applying to all of the whole texture, not just the edges. So how come when we take it down, does it stop showing in the middle and only
Because
apply to these? Oh, is it,
you have a if for that.
right.
When you pass 0.5, it stops showing, right?
Yeah. Right, hold on. Sorry, people. My head's not.
Can I ask what's the default opacity value of the depth fade?
1, I left it on.
Can you also attach a parameter to that one and play with it?
I think the purpose of this is that we're not meant to use the opacity because it's just we use this to do our cutoff, though, right?
I know, but like maybe it could help you understand. Because at some point, changing the opacity shouldn't affect it, right? Because you're already putting it into an if statement.
Yeah, I just need to think about it a sec. Just give me a.
Okay, hush.
No, it's not about if it looks nice when it works. It's about understanding it and being able to do it again. Like we're not. I don't need this water texture. It's. Well, I need to. I want to learn more. Okay, I'm just gonna have to run through it again, just for my own sake. For people who are getting it, apologies if it's a little lame, but okay. I'm gonna get rid of change the parameter names to things that are a bit more, so I can associate with the graph more. This is our depth fade distance. Okay, so we get that. This is just going to output, as we said before, a 1 to 0, 0 meaning next to the edge, 1 meaning far away, based on the depth field distance. So it would return a 1 for anything that's 100 units away or more, if this is set to 100, right?
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to take that value, and all this is doing is just getting us a random bit of noise to multiply it by, so that some of them, even though it's meant to be really far away, it's now going to appear as if it's right next to the wall. Is essentially what this is going to do. Because we're going to times it between 0 and 1. Get this all over. Okay, so as this is just going to give us a random value between 0 and 1 out, all it can ever change out of these, it can't make anything larger. All it can do is make things smaller. So based on the noise, it's either going to stay exactly the same, or it's going to be turned into a lower number, potentially 0, which would then make, in terms of the distance, that would make something that is far away appear like it is close to the wall, right? Which is why we're getting that random white pattern in the middle.
Yes.
Okay, so we multiply those together. I mean, let's just put a bit of a comment in here so I can...
We randomize the mask here, or filter, whatever you like to say.
Yeah, randomly lower the value, the depth field. Based on the noise. It won't ever increase, but can decrease to 0. The depth to 0. Okay. Okay, now. Then we have our logic here, our old logic, which is basically it'll either be blue or white. So we say if it is closest to the wall, the depth of 0 comes in. That means it's close to wall. We want it to be white. That sort of thing. 1 comes in. We want it to be blue. But then the in-betweens we control with a threshold parameter. Okay, so let's down. The threshold parameter is this. So this is going to be the blue-white threshold. By default, we got it at 0.5. So what this means is when it comes in, any value that is less... yeah, anything that's further... I know what I'm trying to say. I'm frustrated at myself not being able to talk or like translate what my brain is thinking into words. We're getting a value between 0 and 1 in. We're basically saying if that value is more than 0.5, then we want to show blue. And based on this distance threshold, this one, that is going to contribute to how much of our overall surface this will actually control. Because if you think of it, like the whole surface itself, most of it will be 1. Will just be pure 1. Because it's most of your surface is further away than the edge than this distance parameter. It depends on the surface of your water and this whatever this fade distance is. Okay. And then we pass that through. So on occasion, then we what we're getting in our example is instead of I want to understand how it only impacts the edges then. And we'll have a look at that now through playing around with this. The threshold thing we're going to set as 0.5, which is the default value. The depth fade distance will make it like 25 from the edge, guessing. And then the scale is just the noise scale. But yeah, 0.1 is kind of what we want there. No, 0.01. Right, is what we used. And this is just based on the noise size that you use. So we'll keep that as that. That's no problem. So I need to understand now why when we reduce the... Only some of it shows here. Because on the noise, there's less bits, which are just pure white, right? That's basically what this is telling us.
Yes.
Okay, so that seems a crap way to do it, though. Because we're getting less impact on these. Yeah, only... There's no way to control that you're not going to get random bits of white over here. Seems a little... Whereas what we can also change this value. I think we're going to have the same issue, aren't we?
Maybe we're gonna use another texture sample to add the center bits later.
What do you mean by that? What, responding to Moz?
Yes, the waveforms. Maybe it's gonna be another pass.
Yeah, for me, I'm not really. Yeah, I'm just trying to. I'm not too sure how much I like this because it means you're always going to get random bits out here. There's like no way to eradicate that, right? It could just be the strategy being used that I don't like. Maybe that's what it is. Oh, sorry. I see what you mean, Moz. So you're saying is it because it's close to the floor here that it's actually causing some?
Is it close? So...
No, because we still get in this even when we bring it up.
Yeah.
Because the way that the approach is using it, it's basically saying we can always potentially multiply it by 0, which would mean that we don't show the blue, we show the white. I think it's just the way that this algorithm has been set up, to be fair. And I'm just using this quick example as a gospel almost to look at, whereas it'd benefit me to not get hooked up on it. What I wanted to do is to understand it, and I feel I understand why it's happening now. So the last minute has been me going, well, that doesn't seem great, and that's okay. I'm allowed to think that. It still looks quite nice, don't get me wrong. I don't mind it. It's just... it's a lot less noticeable, the...
So does the opacity have any control over these things if you enable it?
Oh, sorry. Okay, so the opacity...
It can't go over. Yeah, so it increases, right?
Yeah. Oh, because the depth fade opacity basically is that given like how much of a gradient it is between the min and the max point in a way.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's just do that for now and pretend it looks fine. Here we go. I mean, it does move. It does look fine, but I'm not happy. I wouldn't use it because I don't like the random bits in the middle. I just want to make my panner go a little faster, and then we will. I got to play a few other examples I'd like to be looking at today as well. So, as Sultan Magic and stuff, Dev going Moz. Anyone doesn't know, Moz is the wonderful individual who works with Kindred. He's more of the engineer behind it.
And my example is totally magic.
Totally magic?
Magic maths.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's difficult to understand. I don't know why it divides and then multiplies it by 2 and then multiplies it again, then clamps it and floors it at some point.
Oh, magical. I like that. Okay, there's one extra thing in this. I'm going to finish going through this tutorial thing that I got this example from, as much as I'm being grumpy about it now. But also, at the moment, it's not transparent. I think we haven't set the opacity of our... so let's just make this 1. Let's make this a... 0.5 and see 0.75 and see how that goes. Uh-oh, we broke Unreal. There we go. So it's hard to see now, but you can kind of see the texture. It hasn't crashed yet today. We should be grateful for that. You could... you can't make it so where you're not a certain distance from the wall. Don't render it. That way, yeah, it's... So basically, yeah, Devious, that's generally the kind of approach that would avoid this. You'd do an opacity mask based on the distance as well. But like, I'm not too sure whether you can combine all those things in like one node graph, or whether you'd need to apply multiple things in there. You probably can, to be honest, and I'm just not very familiar with it. I think your logic is right, though, for what that was worth. And hello, Devious. How's the game dev going? Did I just show me as a red value? It is. This will be super transparent now, but learning lots, working on the project. Awesome, man. Awesome. Glad to hear. And like the things are going good with it. I do often wonder like what your involvement in it, because I know very much that like Kindred is like the face of it, so to speak. But then I also know that he doesn't do that much dev work, and then that makes me think there must be a lot of dev work going on by yourself. That's not in any means an insult to him. He's not pretending that he's doing the dev. Okay. So yeah, once you make it transparent, you get rid of that kind of cartoony feel to it as well. So it's a bit of things around about, really. Anyway, okay. Let's then go ahead and see what else is done in the end of this. So I think that he then goes to have a look at like the idea of using refraction. Good. In order to help it. Oh, well, I guess we'll do this as he does, and then we'll try and understand it to get this done quicker so we can get onto some more things today. But I don't have to go and like work like I did last Sunday straight away, so I'm not in as big of a rush. We have lerp. Good old Fresnel. We do like a Fresnel, don't we, brain?
Fresnel.
So we want to lerp between 1 and 1.33. These are magic numbers. And we want to put that into our refraction. And this would be harder to see without us having objects underwater, I guess. Schmoz, Devious. Moz, I assume you're okay with me talking about it. If you want me to not, I can shut up. Watch out, Laku. Your brain's going to hurt. How's the drawing going, Laku? Okay, so we're looking to... I also feel the landscape here we could work to make things a little nicer to see. So, wrong mode. Landscape. Let's get this stuff down a little bit, shall we? A little less like just randomly deep around there. Yeah, all I remember just your praise of you being sung highly, that you have a lot of time to help people, and I think that's good. I remember your account name used to be a little bit different. And orange was your name. I remember people's colours often rather than, not rather than the names, but as much as their names sometimes. A single layer shader model. No. To be honest, I'm not too sure what that means. We are in the newest version. But no, we have not. Crikey. I accidentally moved away from... There we go. Okay, so what we're looking now is to see whether we're getting refraction. Oh, crikey, yeah, we have a player start, don't we? Move this player over to our world over there. Oh. Wondering what was happening then. Okay, you come over here and have a start a game instead. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry for the noise stream. I always forget to click. Let me turn Unreal down so that doesn't happen again. Your poor ears. Hello there, Fido.
So I got rid of 3 nodes and it still looks the same.
Oh, really? That's how magic the numbers were before. There you go, that's a bit quieter. So for us to see this properly, I guess we're going to have to also get some objects in here as well. We don't really have any rocks. I guess we can just add some spheres in there.
Let's make it 4 nodes, 5 nodes now.
You're just getting rid of more and more stuff.
Yeah.
This just reminds me of my dust cloud particle. Does anyone remember me doing that? Times.
Okay, 6. Still works. Perfect.
Okay, so we're trying to see this refraction thing. I can't remember it. I just coloured and shaded a little symbol in less than a minute. That felt good. Well, good. What did you do for the other hour and 50 odd minutes, eh? My new accent. What is my new accent? Right there. If you go into material node graph and look at the shading model for your water, it's single shader model. Have we just put it in preparation for the big water system overhaul? Right, okay, let's have a look. You're saying if I go into here and I click on the material domain? No, what did you say? Let's have a quick look. Material node class and look at the shading model. I thought this were, where's the shading model? Yeah, I'm not too sure where to find it, if I'm honest with you, dude. Sorry, I'm very new to these graphs.
Perfect.
I realize now that you're watching a video and it's not actually your voice that has changed. No, you're on about, no, it's Bora. It's Brainoid who is talking.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're not doing anything wrong. Fido thought that my accent had changed to be yours.
Hi, Fido. I have the best accent.
Okay, let's see how the rest of this thing went. And I will read anything you write, Moz. I will go back and read. Sorry, dude. I'll just try and finish this thing. A bit of fraction. So they then get this value out of here again, and we're going to loop this. We're going to try and make sense of this shortly afterwards. This is actually going to go into the alpha, not that. I'm going to promote this to a parameter which is going to be called our Refraction Boost. And we're going to have a look what that loop. That's it at 0.9. Okay, I think it's to 1. Yeah, by default, it's the default value. He sets this to 0.9. And then this goes into the blurb value for this. We're going to try and make 0. 1.33. So, oh, right. Okay. So this is a way of us to just choose a random value.
Okay, what are you doing? I'm done with my shader.
Oh, it's fine, mate. Good for you.
I'll tell you all about it later, but let's focus on yours now.
Yeah, I also want to look at another water thing as well, because like I saw the other video and it made a lot more sense, the other thing, but I just want to look at like the parallaxing the textures across it and stuff as well, maybe using normals to make it look like waves are moving as well. So I've barely done anything in the 2 hours we've been live so far, it feels, but
and it's always good to check more than one video. So.
There we go. I can see it's working. This, we got refraction. It looks like water now. Magical. Now let's try and make sense of it. I'm not too sure we're definitely going to understand it because of the whole Fresnel thing. But it's cool.
You want to learn about details of Fresnel as well?
No, not today.
Okay.
Please.
And details of Perlin noise?
Be gentle.
I watched the history of Perlin noise the other day. It was fun. I recommend.
Interesting. Not fun, right?
So this guy called Perlin.
Stop it. The refraction boost. Let's see what this does. That goes to 1. Okay, 1, we don't see anything. 0.9 we do. What if we take that to 0.5? Does it go? Okay. So it's using the noise, the same noise, in order to refract. You can see that pattern when we leave it like that. Yes. And the higher we have it, it's only taking some of the highest values from it, maybe. But yeah, I mean, it adds a ton, adds a massive amount to making something look like liquid.
Yeah.
And that gives a very subtle bit of animation. Like this stuff I know is still moving far too much. I'm not a big fan of how this looks, but I'm okay with it for now.
Yeah, it looks like a fire.
Yeah, it's like flaming edge. It's fine. I mean, I don't know. Is it an upgrade from this? Maybe. Technique-wise, end result-wise, maybe not. But,
children pool.
Yeah, the paddle pool. If you make it higher, it might look like waves. No, I don't think it will, but we're going to look at something that will make it look more like waves. I'll show you what it looks like if we go really high. Yeah, see, it doesn't. It actually looks like clouds.
So you don't have all the parameters of Fresnel here, right? It also has a parameter to affect through the edges. You have more Fresnel, and through the center you don't, kind of.
Yes, yeah.
The refraction.
Yeah, so I mean, we can look at the exponent and base reflection, is it?
Yes.
This would actually help to see it on a square. Oh gosh, it definitely does not help. We're going to have a look at something that makes it look like waves, and it's really cool as well, because you don't actually, it's, yeah. Hold on. Well, we're not going to get to see from here. Do you remember which one does what, Brain?
Not really. Maybe it tells you.
One disables it.
Yeah, so that's it. The second one affects the edge thing.
So if you did this larger, would it only do the edges? Let's try putting it as like 0.2.
Yeah. I was going to say 0.2. Great sister.
Finish each other's sentences. Say it, Brain. Sentences. So. Hey,
Sentences.
Loku, trust me, it'll be all right, mate. It looked like clouds. I don't know how you're seeing waves, but maybe we see different things when we go to the beach and look into the sky. Why don't we just expose that out? Then we can actually see how that works.
I don't know. I was expecting you.
I was expecting me to do that too, but I didn't because I'm just stupid. Okay, so this is going to be our Fresnel base reflect fraction in. I'm calling it that just because I need to get used to what I'm actually changing and these parameters that we have on them. Let's put that out, and this we put 0.04 I think was the default value. We'll save that. That'll be the old thing, and then we'll play with it. Come on. Packages save. All right, good. Now let's play with it. So what we're looking at, let's look at, get a nice camera angle, is we want to see how the edges of, they're going to be the edges of things through, like that. I don't know, actually. When we're looking at a circle and applying the texture to that, that made sense to me, right? That it just impacts the edge. But now I'm like, hang on, this is applying it to the whole water. So I'm not actually sure. Well, we'll have a look, see how this number works. Ooh. Okay, so it just what the flip.
It breaks the light even more when you increase it. Or
I'm on a minus value now. It makes it goes further down?
Yeah, well.
This is why we don't play with them. I might leave it on 0.4.
Of 0.4.
Oh yeah, no, it was. Yeah, you're right.
Okay, so that's why they have this cheat sheet for these magic numbers.
It looks wobble, yes. That is extremely trippy. What did I just watch? I feel like this stream is a bit too much for you right now. Do you need to lie down? This is high octane, exciting, Unreal Engine, crazy stream content.